So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and yesterday we got a patch that brought with it some new augments. They are augments for Valkyr's Hysteria, the Root's Sandstorm, and Ember's Accelerant. The first augment we're going to take a look at is the one for Valkyr's Hysteria called Hysterical Assault. This will give you a secondary attack while you're under the effects of Hysteria, which will leap you to a target that's up to 30 meters away from you. Now, the leap distance is affected by power range mod, so you can leap even further if you have a lot of power range, and you can get it by being the rank of Partner under the parent sequence or the rank of Flawless under New Loka, and just like all the other augments, it costs 25,000 standing. This is a great example of an amazing augment. It's a lot of fun to use, it gives you a ton of mobility while under the effects of Hysteria. The smaller enemy seems to get staggered when you leap to them, and it does auto attack damage in a small area around the target you leap to. And one more really cool thing about this augment is it works amazingly against flying enemies. You just leap to them, kick them in the face or whatever they have, and they're dead. Yesterday on stream I tried this augment out and it was absolutely amazing, and today I play with it a little bit more and it's just amazing, and it made me build Valkyr for Hysteria rather than Warcry, which is what I usually build Valkyr for. It can be a little bit cumbersome if you spam the leap and you don't rebind the secondary attack, which is on PC at least defaulted to pressing the middle mouse button or the mouse wheel. But if you rebind it to something else, it's amazing, it's a ton of fun to use. And I'm pretty sure you can expect a Hysterical Assault build next week. The second augment is for Ember's Accelerant called Flash Accelerant, which reduces cast time by 50% and adds 50% fire damage to all your allies for the duration of Accelerant. This is basically an aura that combines natural talent with a weaker version of Ember's Fireball Frenzy augment. Now, from the testing I did, it doesn't seem like this augment affects Ember at all, but it may just be hard to tell because Accelerant already reduces her cast times by 50%. Now, the heat damage bonus is affected by power strength, but the casting speed is unfortunately not. And you can get this augment by attaining the rank of General under the Steel Meridian or the rank of Exalted under Red Veil, and it once again costs 25,000 standing. This augment is actually pretty cool because Accelerant already increases the damage the enemy takes from fire damage by 250%, which is affected by power strength. When you add this augment on top of that and use some power strength mods, when you use Accelerant, the enemies are going to take a lot of extra heat damage and your allies are going to do a ton of extra heat damage on top of that. This is straight up devastating for the infested as it is, but when your party is running Corrosive Projection, it can be very deadly versus the Grenier and the Corrupted as well. So if you'd like to be a little more supportive with your Ember, this is the augment for you. And the final augment we've been given is for Inaros' Sandstorm called Elemental Sandstorm, which takes all the damage types you have on your melee weapon and gives them to Sandstorm with a 50% chance of inflicting their status effect. Now, this sounds a lot cooler than it actually is because stuff like heat procs or slash procs don't do an awful lot of damage. They do very little damage if they are inflicted with the Elemental Sandstorm augment. But it can still be pretty strong if you have a lot of power strength, so your Sandstorm does decent amount of damage, and you're running a melee weapon with viral damage. Because that way, the enemies caught in Sandstorm will only have 50% of their health, and Sandstorm is gonna kill them much faster. Yesterday on stream, we were theorizing about some crazy stuff, like having viral with very high slash damage, so as you're deruding over the enemies, their health will be cut down by half, and your Sandstorm combined with the slash damage is just gonna demolish them, but it doesn't really work that way because if you look at the screen, when the enemy gets affected by, for example, a corrosive proc, they only take about 12 damage. But as I've said already, it can be very useful even if you're running something like corrosive, which is a very common damage type to run on your melee weapon. As you're deruding over the enemies, they will be losing armor constantly, and your Sandstorm is gonna do increasingly more damage to them. So overall, it's a pretty cool augment, but not an augment for me because I don't like building Inaros for Sandstorm. I am not the biggest fan of that ability. But then again, you don't really have to build him for Sandstorm if you want to take advantage of this ability, because what you can do is just put a lot of viral damage on your melee weapon, turn into a Sandstorm for a little bit, cut the enemy health in half, drop out of Sandstorm and kill them with your weapons. So I can definitely see people getting creative with this augment and using it for crazy stuff. It's just not a thing for me. And finally, you get this augment by either reaching the rank of Maxim under the Arbiters of Hexis or the rank of Partner under the parent sequence, and it costs 25,000 standing. Now, before I end the video, I just want to say one very quick thing, and that's that I'm a terrible person. It was my grandfather's birthday last Sunday, and I forgot that I'm supposed to go and see him, and congratulate him and stuff like that, give him some gifts this Saturday. So I may have to push the Banshee review, yes, it's gonna be Banshee, She Demolished the Pole, to Sunday. I will try to finish the review so it can be released on Saturday, but just in case I for whatever reason can't finish it, it will be out on Sunday, okay? And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.